Ponticelli, Napoli, and the homecoming of the Universiade, 1959. And Turin is where the games begin. 60 years on, and the great city of Naples in the Mezzogiorno, the capital of Campania, hosts the 30th edition of this melding of academic and sporting brilliance. Brilliance? Well, that's Japan's bag right now. They have dominated the competition so far in artistic gymnastics at the Pala Vesuvio. Hitomi Hadakeda took the all-around gold yesterday, having been part of the team along with Aiko Sugihara and Asuka Teramoto that won the competition for Japan the previous day. Kazuma Kaya won the men's counterpart competition and also took team gold alongside the Tanegawa brothers. And so, in short, it's been a lot of celebration for Japan. But what of today? 10 medal events coming up at the Pala Vesuvio. It's apparatus finals day. Today, it's about the specialists. We have 2 sessions of competition coming up over the course of the day, and we're going to start for the next 3 hours with the men's floor exercise, pommel horse and still rings, and the women's vault and uneven bars. Lots of number crunching to be done, lots of officiating to be carried out. Later on in the day, at 4 p.m. local time, so 2-hour break after the first session, we will return with the women's balance beam and floor exercise and the men's vault, parallel bars and horizontal bar competition. It's a multi-sport space, the Pala Vesuvio. You might be able to see if you look in the corners, it's got a slight curve to it because it is sometimes used for indoor athletics. It's also used a great deal for martial arts, lots of judo and karate held here, and basketball as well. And we're right in the easternmost of the 30 quarters of Naples in the Ponticelli district. Really can't go any further to the east without leaving the city. Why you'd want to do that, though, goodness only knows. It's a fascinating place. You can barely scratch the surface of a city like Naples in a visit that lasts the length of the Universiade. It is a huge, sprawling city. A million people actually in the city proper, but an extra couple of million in the wider general metropolitan area. And it is a city full of life, vivacity, fabulous food, some remarkable architecture, and most importantly, a sense of real excitement about these games. Everywhere you go, there is a real sense of chit-chat and hubbub about the competition. I think the Italian women's team played a massive part in that there. Bronze medal was very enthusiastically received. And this is the final day of artistic gymnastics competition, believe it or not. Feels like it's barely begun, but it's been a very packed schedule. It's been efficiently carried out. And there'll be a 3-day break in gymnastics competition after today, before the rhythmic gymnastics occupies the Pala Vesuvio for the last 3 days of the 30th Summer Universiade. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? Because it is apparatus finals time. And any of you out there who are fans of gymnastics will know the thrill of a day of apparatus finals, because this is where we get to see the top all-around performers and the team performers mixed in with some real specialists, people like Alex Diab, for example, who we'll see a couple of times today. Particularly, he'll be focusing on the still rings, where he's a real expert there. But this is the start list for the men's floor competition. Kirill Prokopiev of the Russian Federation, the top qualifier. He will go 3rd in the order. We'll start with the 3rd strongest qualifier, Kakeru Tanegawa. And Kazuma Kaya, the 2nd strongest qualifier, will go 7th in the order. The usual restrictions apply, only 2 from one country. It's been tough on Japan, it's been particularly tough on Kakeru's brother Wataru, though we will see him today in competition. It's been tough on Kirill Prokopiev. May possibly have noticed a slightly loud reaction for Andrea Russo, 8th strongest qualifier. the man of the competition, Kazumikaya. And we will see Kim Han-sol also competing on vault later today. So there we have it, the gymnasts that will occupy centre stage in this men's floor exercise final. And they have a brief amount of warm-up time. He's been a hugely popular gymnast, Andrea Russo. He was 7th in the all-around competition. And here is the 22-year-old American, Alex Diab. He's got a great family history in the sport of gymnastics that I'm sure we'll have a chance to chat about in due course. Marco Walter will also be competing on the vault. It's good to see him in competition. He was a qualifier for the all-round final, but withdrew from that. Kirill Prokopiev, a blistering display in qualification. The qualification was also the team final. And his floor routine, Prokopiev's, was a 15.1. I mean, it really just was wonderfully executed. And it's a very difficult piece as well. Good to see Milad Karimi. He made a decent run for the podium in the all-around competition. He was 5th, having qualified in 8th position. Just ended up being raced out of it in the end. But he wasn't that far away, 83.15 and an 83.95. That's Lee Chi-kai was the bronze medal position. If you did watch that men's all-around final that took place yesterday, you will know that it was all about Kazumikaya. 2.5 marks, the gap between him and Ivan Stretovic of the Russian Federation. We'll see Ivan Stretovic in action as well. Can Milad Karimi gain any success? It's his 2nd time at the Universiade, yet to win a medal. But he's a gymnast who has many admirers across the world. He's been doing some superb work of late, especially since recovery from pretty nasty injury, actually. Been one of the common themes if you've been watching all of the gymnastics. Well, it's been one of the common themes, even if you haven't, is talking about gymnasts who have shown incredible tenacity to deal with severe injury that actually so many athletes would walk away from and be justified to walk away from. No shame in walking away from the kind of injuries that have derailed these competitors, and yet they have come back so incredibly impressively. And it's a great advertisement for the Universiade, for the International University Sports Federation, or FISU, organisation founded in 1949, and its axiom is, in today's stars, tomorrow's leaders. And where there is opportunity, I will endeavour to talk a little bit about the academic background of these competitors, the universities they're studying at, the degrees they're reading. There's a lovely variety. Yes, a lot of them, as you'd expect, are reading degrees in sports science and some form of biomechanics. A lot of them are studying towards advanced qualifications in coaching. And that is obviously a necessary feature in the sport, because so many of them will go on to create the next generation of athletes. It seems a strange thing as we look at a 20-year-old to be talking about creating the next generation, but that's what any good national sports programme does, is get the next lot set up to come through. It's certainly what the host nation have been doing in gymnastics for some time. Italy have a vibrant programme. It's time then to begin the apparatus finals and to start, as is traditional, with the men's floor exercise.
Floor, Japan, Kakeru Tanegawa.
And so to Kakeru Tanegawa, team gold medalist. And the gymnast who was in 4th position in the all-around competition behind teammate Kazumikaya, Ivan Stretovic and Lee Chi-kai. Away he goes, 3rd strongest qualifier. execution is going to be a touch crucial for Tanegawa, because his difficulty is a fraction down from some of the top competitors. So of course he chooses to put a touch more in. This is a nice sequence. He's done that very well on the 3 occasions that we've seen it. He's done that very well too. Shows really nice flexibility. Looks like such a simple move. Superb precision. That'll do to get us started, won't it? A really nice beginning from Kakeru Tanegawa. Perhaps his final tumbling pass was the least secure of all of them. But the gymnast who conducts his academic studies at Jundai, Juntendo University, has performed most impressively. And Juntendo University is an extraordinary academic institution, and he's one of their current crop. It was opened in 1838. It's most famous for its medical school, perhaps. The athletes it's produced: Takehiro Kashima, Hiroyuki Tomita, Isao Yoneda, Athens gold medalist, Ryohei Kato, Yusuke Tanaka, team gold medalist from Rio, Daichi Suzuki, a great swimmer, Olympic champion, attended there. It's got a great lineage of producing superb athletes. And there is a thriving university sports system in Japan.
Score, Kakeru Tanegawa, 14 and 55.
14.55 is the score for Kakeru Tanegawa.
USA.
His difficulty the same as in qualification, just a fraction down, a couple of tenths on the execution. Alex Diab of the United States of America, the 22-year-old from Hinsdale in Illinois. The 9th strongest in the qualification process. We have him in here because Wataru Tanegawa was 5th and therefore does not qualify as the 3rd best Japanese performer. He did well to hold that. It's a nice, unusual show of strength. You don't see a great deal in the floor exercise. It's a very fine display from Alex Diab of the United States of America. Now, his difficulty score in qualifying was 5.6. So he's got to be looking for high 8s in execution to be competitive in this final. Have a little sideways or diagonal hop escaping from that tumbling sequence. That's the one that he did a very good job of rescuing, because it was a touch in a supine position as he landed. That's nice to see. It's the first time we've seen that in the floor exercise of these games. It'd be great to see him perform later on the still rings, where he really is a specialist. NCAA still rings champion. He's coached by Paul Ham. Now there's a name in gymnastics. He won a thing or two, didn't he? At the University of Illinois. It's a second Universiade appearance for Diab. Part of the US team that performed very well in 2017. Now we have the top qualifier about to perform. So the only score we have in so far is Kakeru Tanigawa, 14.55. Diab was 13.925 in qualification.
Score
13.65 is the score for Diab.
65.
So he, much like Tanigawa, just a touch down. Might get a little consistency in this from the judges. Sometimes it's the case in the apparatus finals that happens. Same difficulty score for Diab. Now, Kirill Prokopiev, top qualifier, 15.1 for him. And this is his only final. This is his big opportunity. He is the reigning floor champion at the Universiade. Probably getting a sense why. Now here comes the fun bit. Isn't that great? He's got a high difficulty, 6.2 was his qualification difficulty score. It's a wonderful routine. It's a really nicely constructed piece of gymnastics. Kirill Prokopiev, gymnast who took a bronze in the team competition with the Russian Federation behind Chinese Taipei and Japan. And his execution, just as in the qualification process, was very tidy. Certainly from qualification, very little difference it seems in the execution. Not a huge number of overwhelmingly obvious deductions. It wouldn't be enormously surprising to see this go into the lead. Quite expected, really. Yet to win a gold medal for the Russian Federation at these games. They might do now. 14.95, and Kirill Prokopiev goes into the gold medal position.
And 95 for Kirill
So it is Prokopiev 1, Kakeru Tanigawa 2, Alex Diab 3. To Milad Karimi of Kazakhstan, fourth strongest in qualification. He does have a 6.2 difficulty like Prokopiev. It's just about the execution here. If he hits this, he's in contention. He's just taken a silver medal in the floor exercise at the recent Asian Championships. He's going to pick up a 0.1 penalty there. Well, that is going to cost, though. Well, Milad Karimi does have a touch of a difficulty cushion over some of the other competitors, but one suspects he's used all of that up and then some with those hands going down. Very popular gymnast. Many of you who've been regular watchers of the World Cup competitions may remember a very unpleasant injury that he had at the Melbourne World Cup last year. Very nasty break of the arm on the parallel bars. He came back at the Asian Games. His comeback is getting better and better. The silver medal and the vault bronze at the Asian Championships in Ulaanbaatar is evidence of that. And he is studying for a coaching degree at the Kazakh Academy of Sport and Tourism in Almaty. That's his hometown.
Milad Karimi, total score 13 and 65.
Mark to get on the podium is 13.65, and Karimi has got that, but his execution is quite a lot lower, as you'd expect, than Alex Diab's. So Diab, because of the execution tie-break rules, holding on at the moment to bronze medal position. What of Andrea Russo? 7th in the all-around competition. 8th in qualification here with 14.05, and that is not at all the start he was hoping for. He is also going to participate in the horizontal bar final. Excellent horizontal bar performer. They absolutely love Andrea Russo here in the Pala Vesuvio, and with just cause. He's an extremely numerate young man, and he's studying for a degree in accountancy and finance, and unfortunately he will know more than anyone else that the numbers just do not stack up, unfortunately, in terms of getting into medal contention because of these two sit-downs on the tumbling passes. Those of you new to the sport, the key thing in terms of an execution score is the gymnast that loses a full mark when they have what's called a fall in the code of points. That is to say, a sit down, any form of loss of contact with the apparatus, such as coming off the pommel horse or something like that, or putting the hands down on the vault. They're all very costly things.
Total score, Andrea Russo, 11.55.
Still, Kirill Prokopiev has the lead, and he's going to keep that lead unless this is the strangest interpretation of the code of points we've ever seen. But it has been a very fine gymnastics competition for the Italian fans.
Switzerland.
11.55 is the score for Russo, so he is in 5th place. Now Marco Walter of Switzerland, 6th strongest in qualifying. 25-year-old is from Learningen and is a returner to the Universiade. Competed in 2017. The gymnasts that are performing right now, these last three, will know there is daylight. There's a gap to get into a medal position. 14.65, occupying bronze at the moment. That's the 9th strongest qualifier. Just had to bring that handstand back a very small amount. He's done well, Marco Valter. He's done very well. He'll have his greatest hopes of getting on the podium in the vault competition later on in our second session of gymnastics coverage, but that was a really good display indeed. And with only 2 to go after this, he could well have put himself into contention. Very steady work. His difficulty in qualifying was 5.7. His total score 14.25. I think it was pretty comparable in terms of the execution from the qualification display. He certainly does too. And he certainly does too. He was delighted the second that routine finished. Could barely contain himself. Might well have done enough here. Oh, that's a lovely moment. So many friends and family supporting these gymnasts, and sometimes the emotion is all just a little bit too much to bear. Nor should you have to bear it. You may remember, if you watched the competition yesterday, the tears of Lara Mori's mother.
14.
Well, if they were emotional before, they are certainly going to be now, because he's in the bronze medal position, Marco Valter, 14.15. So we've seen pretty consistently the scores, a touchdown from qualification. It is Prokopiev 1, Kakeru Tanagawa 2, Marco Valter 3. We have got the second strongest performer to go now, though, from qualification. Kazuma Kaya of Japan. He had a 9 execution score in qualification, 14.8 his total mark. Quite sure that the last couple of tumbling passes have been as tidy as they were in qualification, but he's so quick in the Russian vendor swing. One would certainly expect this to be there or thereabouts in terms of a podium place. He has had a jubilant competition, and what has been so wonderful to see is that from Kazuma Kaya. The explosion of joy after every successful performance, a gymnast who is growing in confidence, blossoming with every routine. Yes, for so long he's been a dependable performer. For so long he's been regarded as one of those linchpins, the sort of person you want in a team if it's going to challenge for top honours, and he has done that. He's been a team gold medalist at the World Championships, but something more is going on with Kazuma Kaya. He's becoming a real individual star. And that's why they've probably been sleeping pretty well, the Japanese coaches, over the past few days. It's gone so very well indeed. .95 the leading score, 14.15 the medal mark. Not quite sure his execution was as crisp as in qualification. By much, but just those second and third tumbling passes looked ever so slightly less precise, and it was a 9 in qualification. Just one more competitor to go. We will be enjoying the work of Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea. Kaya is in the silver medal position with a score of 14.6. And that means it is another medal for him, and it also means it's going to be the first medal event not won by Japan. Kirill Prokopiev occupies the gold medal position. The Russian gymnast, only one athlete can now displace him. It is Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea. He's in touching distance in terms of his difficulty from qualification, 5.9. His execution wasn't enormously high by comparison. So 14.25 was his overall score. Just a little bit low landing that tumbling pass, but very steady. A gymnast that for a long time people have thought of as a real vault specialist, but he is the Asian Games champion on the floor exercise from Jakarta Palembang last year. Well, that's going to be very interesting because 14.55 is the mark necessary to get on the podium. And Kim had 14.25 in qualification. Was the execution better than the 8.35 that he received?
E siamo in attesa del punteggio per Han-sol Kim, Korea.
It's going to be the interesting decision for the judges to make. May well have been better executed than qualifying. Has he got enough difficulty? That's going to be the question to ask. They are happy with it regardless. So, Prokopiev 1, Kaya 2, Tanegawa 3.
In attesa del punteggio di Han-sol Kim.
If he's managed to get a touch more difficulty into this routine, then suddenly he's a definite threat to displace Kakeru Tanegawa. Just an extra 0.1 of difficulty that he's got in for a 14.55 score for Kim Han-sol. And that means that he's in 4th position. He's got the same score as Kakeru Tanegawa, but his execution is down by a single tenth. It was an improvement in both difficulty and execution from qualifying, but he's missed out on the tie-break criteria. So it is the bronze for Kakeru Tanagawa of Japan, the silver for Kazumakaya of Japan, and the gold for Kirill Prokopiev of the Russian Federation. First triumph for the Russian Federation, first triumph for anyone other than Japan here at the 2019 Universiade. Another medal for Kazumakaya. He's also going to compete in the pommel horse, still rings and parallel bars, so there's still so much more that he could walk away with, having already won 2 gold medals. Lovely moment for Kirill Prokopiev. Having taken a team bronze, he defends successfully his Universiade floor title. Very few gymnasts will ever manage to do that, to defend a title from one competition to the next. A look back at some of the finest moments of this men's floor final. Still plenty more action to come here in the Palais Vesuvio in just a moment.
Apparatus final woman vault. Marina Nekrasova, Azerbaijan. Lilia Kaimova, Russia. Ingyue Tan, Malaysia. Yana Fedorova, Ukraine. Tatiana Nabieva, Russia.
The introduction of the competitors for this women's vault competition. And a glimpse there just a moment ago of the top qualifier, Tatiana Nabieva of the Russian Federation team, silver medalist.
Chinese Taipei. Warm-up, vault.
And so to this women's vault competition, and those of you who've been following the gymnastics perhaps for the first time at these games, you're now going to see 2 vaults from the competitors rather than the 1 vault that they undertake in the all-around and team competitions. The start list for the women's vault competition, and Lilia Akaimova, she'll go second as the second strongest qualifier. Yana Fedorova, third strongest qualifier, will go 4th in the order, and at number 5 we will have Tatiana Nabieva, the top performer in the qualification. She had a massive first vault of 14.55. What is interesting about this particular competition is the gap between 2nd and 7th is just slightly shy of 1.5 tenths from qualification. So Lilia Akaimova, second strongest, 13.425. Elsa Gert, 7th strongest, 13.3. So this is absolutely all to play for. It could come down to something as simple as a gymnast taking a step. Now Marina Nekrasova, who's going to be the first to go, had a 0.3 penalty on her first vault, or a land out of bounds. Lose that, and suddenly she's up there in the medals. It's tempting to really play the numbers game here. Of course, they've actually got to produce the gymnastics. But it is intriguing in terms of how those qualification marks were. From Nabieva's perspective, I mean, just far and away the strongest performer, 14.05. Best part of a mark ahead of her teammate, Akaimova. Gymnast from the Russian Federation. Lilia Akimova was making an absolutely superb chase for the all-around title in yesterday's competition. Just didn't quite work for her in the floor exercise. She was very visibly disappointed, understandably so about that. And a chance for us to see some gymnasts we haven't seen so far, such as Rifta Irfana Lutfi from Indonesia, Taning Yue of Malaysia to be competing. They're the 4th and 5th strongest qualifiers, respectively. There's the 3rd strongest, Yana Fedorova. Fedorova, who had an extremely positive campaign in the all-around competition. She was 6th with a score of 50.05, having been 9th in qualification. She made a very handsome jump up the standings. It's going to mean a huge amount to Tatiana Nabieva if she can manage to get another Universiade gold. Team gold in 2013 in Kazan. Silver on the uneven bars. Hasn't yet got an individual title at the World University Games. And she's just so happy to be back here in the Universiade, to be selected for international competition once again. Ilse Geerts of Netherlands, the 7th strongest in qualification. Fan Goqing of Chinese Taipei was the 8th strongest. Been a very good competition for the Chinese Taipei gymnastics team. And this is an inexperienced female squad. They're showing great signs of promise. And it has been a great competition for her as well, for Lilia Akimova. It's so close to that all-around prize, the top prize. Attends the same university as Tatiana Nabieva, Moscow National State University of Physical Education. We saw Taning Yue undertaking her final warm-up. So many people have anticipated with great excitement the return of Tatiana Nabieva. Good for Irfana Lutfi. She is a gymnast who's enjoyed great success in the multi-sport world. Has an absolute plethora of Southeast Asian Games medals. Also got a silver medal on the floor at the Asian Games in Jakarta, Palembang. And took honours at the Islamic Solidarity Games as well in Baku in 2017. And actually there's a lot to be said for an athlete understanding the multi-sport games environment. Often the timetable of competition is very different from at a sport-specific championship, such as a World Championship or the Continental Championship. Sometimes the competitions are a touch more condensed. Sometimes there are fewer final spots available. That was the case if any of you were watching the European Games recently. to get accustomed to that sort of competition is very tricky. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, it really is up for grabs in terms of the gap between the competitors, or the lack of gap between the competitors in qualification beyond that leading performer, Tatiana Nabieva.
Apparatus final vault.
If you're just joining the action, it is time for the women's vault competition as part of Apparatus Finals Day at Napoli 2019. Marina Nekrasova of Azerbaijan, first to go, really experienced gymnast from Voronezh. She's been competing for Azerbaijan since 2013. And that's a really good vault. Now, that's the vault that she had a 0.3 penalty for in the qualification. So this could be a big change for Nekrasova. She kept inside the tram lines. Steadied that really nicely. And she will know, as such an experienced vaulter, that if she can start this strongly, with the gap being so slender between so many of these gymnasts, and she's going to massively pressurize those still to come. And what a change there. 14.1 for that first vault. It was 12.65 in qualifying.
Secondo salto, second vault.
Execution 8.7 to 7.55. Right, here we go, second one. That is also well executed. She's going to take a 0.1 penalty. But suddenly, Nekrasova is absolutely in contention.
Score, first vault for Marina Nekrasova, 14-10.
Well, Marina Nekrasova has absolutely delivered on these two vaults. Just a small step out, not the most enormous of penalties. But she is going to be thrilled, especially after having had real disappointment in the European Games. So it's a 14 for Nekrasova. Now let's just contextualise that. 13.325 in qualifying as the sixth strongest. And it really puts pressure on Nabieva now, who was 14.05 as the top qualifier. That's how you want to start a vault final, isn't it? Lilia Akaimova of the Russian Federation, second strongest. This first vault was a big one. And it is still likely to be a big one. She was awarded a 5.8 difficulty score for that vault in qualification, or for the first vault in qualification. Akaimova did have problems on the second vault, where she only picked up a 12.45 score. There's such a collection of medals. She might well get another one. Her Universiade trophy cabinet could be growing. 14.35.
Second vault.
Virtually identical to the first vault in qualifying. This now is the crucial one. This was the vault that she had problems with in qualification, and she does not have problems on this occasion. So the first two have removed their major problems from qualifying. Let's put the pressure on everyone else. That was a transformation from the qualification. .975 is the total score, very nearly.
Malaysia in
But it is still Nekrasova in first place. So Nekrasova 1 and climb over 2. Tan Yue of Malaysia was executed crisply. Now, Tan Yue is not going to be producing anything like the difficulty of some of the competitors we've seen and will see. 4.6 for both of her vaults in qualification, so the execution needs really to be strongly in the 9s for her to have a chance. To look at exactly where she landed here. She's comfortably inside. The reigning Southeast Asian Games vault champion. 13.275 for the first one. It was 13.35 for both of these vaults in qualifying. Absolute parity and consistency across the two. Been performing well on vault this year. Took a silver in the Zhaoqing World Cup recently. Did take a fair few back pedals on that one. Certainly will pick up penalties for treading out of bounds. But that's likely to knock her score down from what it was in qualification. There's plenty of tidy execution. Keeps the toe point very pronounced in the pike position. 23-year-old gymnast from Malacca. She's a veteran World Championship performer, along with all of these multi-sport games and World Cup competitions. .12.8 for the second, 13.037 in total. Third position for Tan Yue. Yana Fedorova of Ukraine was the third strongest qualifier. Again, might find herself run out of the race a little from difficulty. 4.6 and 4.0 in qualifying. But great execution of these vaults, so she's going again for the 4.6. It's really nice execution. No issues at all with her delivery of that vault. Really was very crisply carried out. .7, 9.1 the execution. She's actually improved by half a tenth from qualification.
Secondo salto, second ball.
And this is the vault that just has a 4 difficulty. So Yana Fedorova, she was awarded a 4 difficulty in qualification for her second vault. And again, she has real stability in what she's doing. Lands it really nicely. the gymnast who is studying for a degree in coaching at the National University of Physical Education and Sport. The mark at the moment for a medal is 13.07, not anymore. 13.35 total score for Yana Fedorova. She was expecting her execution to be stronger. She's in bronze medal position. But for how much longer?
Russia,
Tatiana Nabieva.
For Tatiana Nabieva.
Team silver medalist. This was a huge first vault in qualification. 14.55 she scored for it. What this time? That's what this time. Great vaulting. A look of absolute ferocity at the table as she walks away. Very focused in her preparation. Accomplished, really accomplished. You'd expect that from the 24-year-old. She has stood at the top, in the centre of a World Championship podium. Team gold in 2010. She's got a full set of colours at the World Championships. And she's got a 14.5 for that first vault.
Second vault, Nabieva.
Second vault for Tatiana Nabieva. Oh, she did have a big step backwards, and there will be a 0.1 penalty. Now, what's that going to do in terms of Marina Nekrasova being the leader on 14? Nabieva had 14.05 in qualification. Is that penalty going to turn out to be of real significance? Well, we shall discover, won't we? Until that moment, it was looking absolutely bang on. Doesn't leave a lot in terms of mid-air deductions for the judges. The score is 13.925 for Tatiana Nabieva. 13.925 total score. So she's in the bronze medal position. It's Nekrasova 1, Akaimova 2, Nabieva 3. So Nekrasova is holding on, having been the 6th strongest qualifier. Ritva Ivanalutvi of Indonesia. She was the 4th strongest in qualification. Good execution. Difficulty might prove a touch problematic.
Second vault, Ivanalutvi.
13.1 for the Indonesian gymnast. Silver medal on the vault at the Southeast Asian Games in Kuala Lumpur a couple of years ago. And she did compete at the Asian Games, where she won a silver medal on floor. Those games in Indonesia. She's vaulted nicely, vaulted very nicely. Gymnast from Jakarta, although the gymnastics was actually held in Palembang, on a different island. had a moment of congratulations with Marina Nekrasova, the leader. Fifth position, 13.275 for Irfana Lutfi. So it is still Nekrasova, then Akimova, then Nabieva. Two gymnasts to go, one of whom is Elze Geerts of Netherlands, 7th strongest qualifier. Bit of a hop forward as she landed that vault. Given a 5 difficulty for her first vault in qualification. Gymnast who was the 4th strongest in the vault competition at the recent Dutch Championships. .75, the mark for the first vault, just a 10th down from her qualification display. With the medal mark being 13.925 and her difficulty score here being 4.2, likely that Geerts will be able to trouble the podium. They've been nicely executed display. She's had a couple of stability problems on the landing, but the 24-year-old from Ralta has been a most valuable member indeed of the gymnastics competition at these games. She was in the top 10 in the all-around final. We await the score for Elze Geerts. 13.2 total score for the Dutch gymnast. She's in 6th position, and we have one more to go. So it is Nekrasova 1, Akimova 2, Nabieva 3, 13.925 for bronze, 13.975 for silver, 14 for gold. Just Fan Ko-ching of Chinese Taipei left to go, the 8th strongest in qualification. And it is very stable indeed from Fan Ko-ching. 18-year-old gymnast, known as Coco to her teammates. She will be competing on the floor exercise as the first score comes in of 13.275. She's also qualified for the floor final. That's where she started to make her World Cup breakthrough a little bit. Got to the floor final in Paris. That was last year, her first World Cup final. Some really good vaulting. Not a huge difficulty for the second one, but the execution is very good indeed. Just not pushing things further than she needs to in terms of the difficulty tariff.
Con questo salto si conclude la seconda rotazione. that conclude the second rotation.
Let's a look back at the final vault of this women's vault competition. Very good line maintained by Fan Ko-ching. She's right down the centre, hits that middle line nicely. Just a 4.2 difficulty score for the gymnast from Chinese Taipei in qualification. So Marina Nekrasova surely will be feeling pretty safe at the moment. The score is in. It is 13.025 for Fan Ko-ching, puts her in 8th position, and that means that it is gold for Marina Nekrasova of Azerbaijan. That is a wonderful moment for her. Lilia Akimova of the Russian Federation taking the silver. Tatiana Nabieva, also of the Russian Federation, with the bronze medal. Jubilation for Azerbaijan and the 24-year-old from Voronezh, Marina Nekrasova. And here is a look back at the vaulting that brought her a gold medal and the title of Universiade champion. And there one more time, confirmation of the final standings in this women's vault competition at Napoli 2019.
Apparatus final men pommel horse. Finale di specialità di ginnastica artistica maschile al cavallo con maniglie. Kazuma Kaya, Japan. Jacob Bonney, Canada. Stefano Patron.
It's time for the men's pommel horse competition. We've just had Kazuma Kaya and Jake Bonnet introduced, then Stefano Patron. So the second, 8th and 6th highest qualifiers. Michael Tone of Australia, the 5th strongest. Naruman Kurbanov of Uzbekistan, the 3rd strongest. Lee Jung-hyo of the Republic of Korea, the 7th strongest. Abdullah Azimov of Uzbekistan, the 4th strongest. And we finish with the top qualifier, Li Chi-kai of Chinese Taipei. It's that old adage of, if Li hits it, Li wins. He is that good on this piece. He is the defending champion at the Universiade. The start list for the men's pommel horse competition. We begin with Kazuma Kaya, the 2nd strongest qualifier. We end with Li Chi-kai, the top qualifier. And we have in 5th position in the running order Naruman Kurbanov, gymnast from Kazakhstan, who was the 3rd strongest in qualification.
Final ranking vault woman. 1st place Marina Nekrasova, Azerbaijan. 2nd place Lilia Akimova, Russia, and the 3rd Tatiana Nabieva, Russia.
As we look at Jake Bonnet of Canada, opportunity to have a brief bit of discourse for those of you who are new to watching the pommel horse as to what exactly the judges are looking for. And it is such a traditional piece of gymnastics apparatus. The design has evolved over the years. Back in the day when it was used as a military training exercise, it was much more horse-shaped. It was not symmetrical at all in its design. But symmetry is very important actually in terms of the pommel horse design, because there are 3 discrete sections to the apparatus, and it's vital that those sections are used equally, that the gymnast works across all parts of the pommel horse. Buoyant Chinese Taipei men's gymnastics squad taking the team silver. And here's a better look at the apparatus. 3 sections must all be used, and the handles themselves, the pommels, well, that is what they are known as. Well, they need to be used also by the gymnast. They can build difficulty by working on just one of the handles rather than spreading both hands across both handles. So there, for example. And it's a continuous movement exercise, no stillness at all in the pommel horse. Rather separates it from the vast majority of other gymnastics disciplines. And the sort of thing that the judges will be really evaluating closely in the execution is that the gymnast keeps a very straight body, that they're not jackknifed or piked in the middle. There's a nice example of a straight line established by Nariman Kurbanov. You'd expect that from him. He's an extremely accomplished pommel horse gymnast. And what is so interesting when you're watching a pommel horse competition is how a gymnast rescues things that are not going so well. When the legs start to separate just a touch, that's where it can become very difficult for the gymnast to arrest a potential collision with the apparatus. I'm sure many of you watching this know it all too well. Some of you out there may well be competitors on this particular piece of apparatus and have battled through all of those things over the years. Some of you may well be watching gymnastics for the first time. And whatever your involvement is with the sport, it really is wonderful to have your company at this celebration of the university world and the sporting world brought together in the lovely city of Naples. Very warm summer. The conditions inside the arena are excellent. It's kept to a good temperature. It's very well climate controlled. His temperature has been utterly sizzling hot so far. Kazuma Kaya, silver medal to add to his 2 gold medals. And on the floor exercise. But the gymnast that everyone will be focusing on, of course, is Li Chikai of Chinese Taipei. And if you've never seen him compete on the pommel horse, don't go anywhere for the next little while, will you? Will the changes be rung in? Will somebody else manage to dislodge him? Will they take the title away from him that he won in his home country in 2012? The Summer Universiade, the 29th Summer Universiade. Stefano Patron was the 6th strongest in qualification. He'll also compete in the parallel bars final.
Bartus final pommel horse.
And so we begin the men's pommel horse competition. This is the third apparatus final of 5 in this first session of the day. Kazuma Kaya, the second strongest qualifier on the pommel horse. A 14.8 score. Now what we do have in this final is quite a gap in terms of difficulty scores. If we look at the qualification, the strongest difficulty score was Lee Chi Kai, 6.2, and then we go all the way down to a 4.7 difficulty score, Jake Bonnet, so we could get a little bit of daylight emerging in this final. Kazuma Kaya had a 6.1 difficulty score in qualification. Might well try to up that here in order to go for the gold. Let us see. Very tidy hand placement. Lower body is precise. He keeps it together in the Russian even better, which he does. And again there, giving a great deal away in this second part of the routine, that's for sure. Into the flares, which he does with speed and precision. Just a little bit low there, coming towards the dismount, and his legs got ever so slightly tangled moving into that. But it's a very good display once more from Kazuma Kaya. Oh, he's having quite a competition. Great precision in his form here. He does do some nice work with the flares. Spout just seemed to go a touch untidy. A little bit bigger a movement than he tends to have with the legs. His execution was 8.7 in qualification, but there's a lot more for the judges to take away on this occasion.
Kazuma Kaya pommel horse, score 14 and
So it's a
15.
14.5 for Kai. He added quite a lot to the difficulty, 0.5, big additions to difficulty, but the trade-off was the execution. That was down to 7.9. Jake Bonnet of Canada, this is his only final. 21-year-old from Ontario. He attended the Assumption Catholic Secondary School, but now competes in the United States. He's a member of the University of Nebraska NCAA gymnastics squad, and a major in actuarial science. Was the 8th strongest in qualifying. He's just a touch piked in some of his early work. And a simple dismount from Bonnet. He's the gymnast with the 4.7 difficulty score. Been a very proud year for Bonnet, and this is a major part of it. He's an NCAA All-American as of this year, which is a distinction, a very important distinction awarded to high-performing athletes at the national level. Just seemed to get a little bit of a collision with the apparatus moving around into that dismount, but masked it nicely. There is a little clearer. 12.9 is Jake Bonnet's score.
Total score 12 and 9.
Difficulty down a little bit from the qualification mark. Stefano Patron, 6th best in qualifying, 13.65. He performed very well on the pommel horse in the Serie A team competition back in March. He took a bronze medal for his team, or with his team rather. And he was a strong performer, best performer for them on the pommel horse. Close to the pommel horse and did really have to work not to hit those handles full on. Hasn't got a great deal of clearance, and that's forcing the body a touch jackknifed. But he did very well to sustain and maintain that work. He's still got one final to go, and they will keep cheering for him as long as he keeps walking out onto the field of play. He's a very well-loved gymnast, Stefano Patron. He's just 20, from the iconic city of Venice. That's where he suffered a little from the leg separation because of getting so close to the handles. But could well have come off there and kept that together most impressively. It's good enough for second place for Stefano Patron, 13.55 his score.
13 and 55. Australia, Michael Tone.
Michael Tone of Australia, 5th strongest qualifier. This is very much his piece. He's a good all-round gymnast as well. 6th at the Commonwealth Games. He really does absolutely love performing on the pommel horse. Getting good clearance. A little bit lower that time, but it's okay. Just a little bit sideways as he conducts some of those skills. A bit of a turn in the hips. But it was accomplished work, very much so, from Michael Tone. 23-year-old who trains with Gold Coast Gymnastics. So proud he was to participate in his home games back last year. He did very well considering he was rehabbing quite a bad neck injury in the build-up to the Commonwealth Games, but he was obviously not going to miss it. Studying for a degree in business with a specialism in finance at the Queensland University of Technology in Brisbane. He says his two great obsessions in life are stock trading and finding good coffee shops. And he's probably at least mastered the latter here in Italy. Second Universiade for him. And it's easy to see why he has been a national pommel horse champion in Australia. It's a confident display, a good approach. Next to go will be Nariman Kurbanov.
Michael Ton, total score 13 and 85. 13.85.
Michael Tone acquired a good rhythm and pitched it right to get into silver. 13.85.
Kazakhstan, Nariman Kurbanov.
So Kaya, Tone, Patron, 1, 2, 3. Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan. Another gymnast who is from Almaty, much like Milad Karimi. He was the third strongest qualifier. He's got a good record in pommel horse competitions. Just lost his elegance a touch, but didn't last long at all. And there's some nice one-handle work. He has a fluidity, a fluency on this piece, Nariman Kurbanov. His father, a gymnastics coach. He is a student at the Kazakh Academy of Sport and Tourism. He's just 21, Kurbanov, and we're starting to see him more and more in pommel horse competitions. That was the moment of untidiness, but it didn't last for a great deal of time. I'll be wondering if he's quite done enough there. He was sixth in the pommel horse final at the Asian Games in Jakarta, Palembang last year. The mark necessary to get onto the podium is 13.55. That tempered by the fact that we've still got the fourth and first qualifiers to come, so getting into bronze medal position right now won't feel at all comfortable for anyone. Wanting to get above Michael Tone, certainly, with 13.85. Lee Jun-kyo is the next gymnast to compete, and he's gone into the lead, Nariman Kurbanov. A score of 14.7. Kazumakaya down into the silver medal position.
14 and 17. Nariman Kurbanov.
Very nicely executed from Kurbanov. 8.8 his execution score, so
Next gymnast,
played it right in terms of his difficulty, which was a 5.9. Lee Jun-kyo of the Republic of Korea, 7th in qualification, 13.65 was his score. Didn't he excite in a huge way in the all-around competition? 9th in qualification. For a long time he was in a bronze medal position, ended up finishing 6th. But he was a great performer, the 21-year-old from Seoul. His players are nicely executed. They're not as fast and intense as some of the others that we'll see. Lost his leg shape a touch. Got through that dismount eventually. It did seem to take a touch longer than it did in the qualification process. It is quite a difficult routine from Lee Jun-kyo. He had a 5.8 for his difficulty in qualifying. The big change was Kazumakaya going from a 6.1 to a 6.6. Regrettably for him, his execution went in the other direction. So what he gained on difficulty, he lost overall. Hasn't done an enormous amount of international competing, Lee Jun-hyo, but does have a team silver at Asian Championship level. And he's not been far away from individual medals. He's looked really at home in this competition. Certainly from the second highest group of qualifiers, he was troubling that top group, troubling those medalists quite a lot. Just a fall away at the end, but he's into a medal position with a 14.175. So we have Kurbanov in first place, Kaya in second, Lee in third.
Uzbekistan, Abdullah Azimov.
And Michael Tone has dropped down into fourth position. Now, Abdullah Azimov of Uzbekistan, fourth strongest qualifier, 14.15. If he delivers that, he will be in fourth place again here with one still to go, so he's got to improve. Technique is very polished. Very nice Shavado, transitions well into the Russian. Very sharp work from Abdullah Azimov, 23-year-old from Tashkent, capital city of Uzbekistan. He's been close to taking World Cup honours. Way back in 2014 at the World Championships in Nanning, he was 20th strongest performer on the pommel horse. He's getting closer and closer to winning things. From his perspective, he's got to realistically be above Kazuma Kaya in order to not feel extremely anxious with Lee Chi-kai about to perform. So looking for a score above 14.5. 14.35, I was about to say, is the score to get onto the podium. So there we go. Abdullah Azimov has done it. Goes ahead of Lee Jun-hyo of the Republic of Korea.
14 and 35.
So Kurbanov is in first place, Kaya is in second, Azimov is in the bronze medal position. So Kurbanov and Kaya secure of medals, but now Lee Chi-kai of Chinese Taipei, the top qualifier. It was a score of 15.15 in qualification. Here is the reigning champion from the last summer Universiade. Gymnast who studies at Taiwan Sport University. And here he goes into the big flare work. He's just become a blur in this sequence. So pacey is he, but his execution is very good. Toes pointed, hips high above the handles. Isn't he just wonderful to watch on this piece? It's a masterclass. Every time you see Lee Chi-kai perform, has he managed to secure the gold medal for Chinese Taipei? Lee Chi-kai, or Market Kai as he's so often known back home. He was part of a film called Jump Boys, which was about the training of young gymnasts. They released the sequel Jump Men in 2017, and the market reference is because he started performing gymnastics moves as a child to attract customers to his family's vegetable stall in the local market.
della specialità cavallo con maniglie.
Turned out to be one of the very finest gymnasts that nation has ever produced. He's starting to take all of these big titles, is Lee Chi-kai, the Asian Games champion. And he has absolutely romped to this. What a huge score, 15.4 for Lee Chi-kai. It's a massive display, and it is a gold once more at the Universiade. 9.2 was his execution score. The judges found almost nothing to take away. So technically precise was that display. All eyes on him. It's a golden moment. Pommel horse competition is tough. It's high pressure, but it's pommels, and he handles it. The silver medal to Nariman Kurbanov with his great display of 14.7. He was leading right up until Lee Chi-kai came in as the last performer to take the gold medal. Kazuma Kaya, who got things underway, takes a bronze, and yet another medal for the Japanese gymnast. Those the final standings in the men's pommel horse competition. I do hope you're enjoying this wonderful session of gymnastics action. Apparatus finals here at the Napoli 2019 Games, the 30th Summer Universiade. And we still have two more finals to come, but this is a look back at the great moments of this pommel horse competition.
Uneven bars. Hitomi Takeda, Japan. Barbara Mokosova, Slovakia. Janine Berger, Germany. Martina Rizzelli, Italia. Jessica Dowling, Canada. Asuka Teramoto, Japan. Uliana Perebinosova, Russia. Tatiana Nabieva, Russia. Start warm-up.
And now it's time for the women's uneven bars competition. This is the penultimate of the finals in this first session. And so the start list for the women's uneven bars competition, and we'll start with the top performer, Hitomi Takeda of Japan. Asuka Teramoto, the second strongest in qualification, will go later on in the order, and she'll be immediately followed by Uliana Perevinosova, the third strongest in qualification, but that tempered by the fact that Perevinosova performed a much higher score in the all-around competition yesterday. She was a 13.6 in the qualification process, Perevinosova, but when it actually came to the all-around final, well, she was way up from that. It was utterly transformed routine, and that is perhaps a point of worry for some of the other competitors, because she scored a 14.35. Italy with interest in this final. Martina Rizzelli was the fifth strongest in qualifying. Tatiana Nabieva will be competing. She was the 4th strongest, having just taken the bronze medal in the vault competition. Jessica Dowling of Canada, the 8th strongest qualifier. She'll also be performing in the floor final. Martina Muzzelli is such a known specialist on this piece. And Team Japan add to their highly impressive medals tally. Jessica Dowling, or there was Jessica Dowling. There is Liana Perebinosova, who really does have an extremely difficult and exciting routine. Which of the two routines will we see from Perebinosova? The qualification routine of 13.6 or the all-around final routine of 14.35? If it's that latter one, then it's hers. Martina Muzzelli, having taken her team bronze medal a couple of days ago. She was a really important performer on the couple of pieces that she did, particularly on the uneven bars. Tatiana Nabieva had such intensity of preparation for her uneven bars routine in the team competition. She actually ended up with a penalty for taking too long to get started. Just have to be slightly mindful for that happening again. Certainly the extraordinary degree of commitment that she's had to delivering the highest quality routines. It's been clear. In terms of high quality routines though, well, it doesn't get higher than what we've seen from the gymnast who is going to be the first to compete. Hitomi Hatakeda of Japan, the all-around champion.
Hitomi Hatakeda, Japan.
And so we begin with Hitomi Hatakeda of Japan, the strongest performer in qualification and the gold medalist in the all-around from yesterday. Transitions with the Van Leuven. Builds up the pace after the Jaeger. Rapid shoulder work on the low bar. Lovely start, very precise as we would expect from Hitomi Hadakeda, who had a 13.85 in qualification. It's a really well-judged routine from the Japanese athlete. There's not an excess of difficulty in there, so consequently she always looks to be in supreme control of what she's doing. Don't really at any point in that display have cause to gasp for breath out of worry. Great team, really are a great team. Barbara Mokashova will be next to go. .14 is the score for Hitomi Hadakeda. I think she might have been surprised by how high that was. Just possibly, if I've read the body language and the reaction right. She's up by just over a tenth from qualification. Barbara Mokashova from Slovakia, 7th strongest in qualification. Score of 13 for the 22-year-old from Bratislava. She was just a touch wild in that attack down onto the low bar and lost her swing as a result. Just pirouette, quite in control. It's a nice recovery. She's on 3 occasions been voted Slovakia's Female Gymnast of the Year. She's greatly respected. Has won World Cup titles on the uneven bars, and it's a shame it didn't begin well. It certainly concluded well. Koshova is a student of sports studies at Comenius University. Many of you who know the Slovakian pommel horse specialist Slavomir Michnak, that's where he graduated as well. Same degree, same institution. Although she is well known for her uneven bars performances, Mokashova does pretty consistently make all-around competitions at continental level. Hadakeda's the only score in so far, 14. Janine Berger of Germany will be the next gymnast to compete. Mokashova has a score of 12.1. The full mark deduction very clear.
Germany, Janine Berger.
To Janine Berger of Germany. 6th strongest qualifier. But this is a routine to watch out for because she did post a 5.6 difficulty score in the qualification. Uses the Maloney transition to go from low to high. This is a very smooth display from Berger. And it's nicely dismounted too. Well, that will be interesting. I think her reaction is clear that that was a step up from qualification. Gymnast from Bavaria. She's a very popular athlete, very well respected, studying for a degree rather in sport media and event management in Munich. Did get to the uneven bars final at the German Championships last year. She really is now a bars and vault gymnast. Some of you may remember her almost getting a medal in the vault competition at London 2012. Really made that dismount work very nicely. Moment of absolute jubilation. Will it be matched by the score that comes in? What will her reaction be to that? The leading mark is 14.
Score 13 and 45.
13.45 for Janine Berger, so she's stepped up by just over a tenth from qualification. Currently in the silver medal position. What can Martina Rizzelli do? Rizzelli was the 5th strongest qualifier, 13.45. There's suddenly virtual silence in the Pala Vesuvio. People dare not take a breath as Martina Rizzelli comes to the conclusion of this routine. And she concludes it impeccably. Having already taken a team bronze medal, can Rizzelli get onto the podium once more? Whatever happens, she has delighted the coaching staff in this Italian national team. And very fine work from Rizzelli. Just so consistently makes World Cup finals on the uneven bars. But she did have a dreadful injury-plagued 2017. Back trouble that meant that she only came back around about a year ago. Delight everywhere you look with that display. Still formal performances to come after this. 13.2 for Martina Rizzelli. Execution down a fraction from qualifying, so she is in 3rd place. Now to Jess Dowling of Canada. Dowling was the 8th strongest in qualification. She's got to build that power back up, and she's shown great core strength to do that. Nicely recovered, smoothly recovered from Jess Dowling. When she seemed to lose all momentum, she picks it back up well. It's been a joyous experience for Jessica Dowling to come back to compete at the Universiade, where the highlight of her career was attained in Taipei in 2017, that team silver medal. And she was so close a few years ago to walking away from the sport due to dreadful right knee problems, very bad injuries. And she had that realization that if she did walk away and retire, which would have been an understandable decision, she would have regretted it for the rest of her life. She's kept going, and proving here that she is still a gymnast capable of delivering these high-level displays. Well on the uneven bars recently at the Canadian Championships, and she scores 13.15 to go into 4th position. Some big performers to come. We're going to conclude this competition with the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strongest qualifiers. Asuka Teramoto is the first of these big three. 13.75 was her mark in qualification. That was the 2nd highest. She progresses nicely through the ginga. Plenty of release and catch work going on. It's all very tidy. Well, we're having a thoroughly entertaining uneven bars competition. Has Asuka Teramoto done enough to challenge that 14 mark said by Hitomi Harakeda? Good secure connection in the ginga. And here the Jaeger was also very clean. Gets a nice bit of amplitude into her dismount, which is very steady. It's so consistent, it's so similar to what she produced in the qualification. Gymnast who took the team gold. So we'll conclude with two Russian gymnasts. What sort of mark has been set by the two Japanese competitors? And what will we see from Perebinosova? It's a routine that carries with it a great deal of difficulty. Well, it is very much her event. It's something she specialises in. She's been on a World Championship podium, Tatiana Nabieva, for the bars. Teramoto has made an improvement by half a tenth to a score of 13.8. So it is Japan 1 and 2, Germany 3. Takeda, Teramoto, Berger. But here is Uliana Perebinosova.
Uliana Perebinosova.
Now, Perebinosova was the third strongest in qualifying, 13.6, but she produced a 14.35 in the all-around competition. The difficulty went up to 6.1. Oh. Well, that is always the danger when there is such complexity in the work. apart from one moment, it was a wonderful display from Uliana Berebinosova, but just how costly a moment. 13.45 is the mark to get onto the podium. She seemed to have that. Just agonisingly slipped out of reach. She was just a little bit over the bar as she came in to make contact, and as a result, rather the wrists dragged across the bar before the hands made contact. Well, Hatakeda will be feeling pretty confident about her leading position, at least for the time being anyway. Just one to go. Berebinosova, who secured the silver medal in the all-around competition yesterday. Just for further clarification, Hitomi Hatakeda has the lead, Asuka Teramoto second place, Janine Berger third position. Berebinosova with a score of 12.75. She is in sixth position. So guaranteed medals for Hatakeda and Teramoto.
Russia, Tatiana Nabieva.
Just Tatiana Nabieva who can deny Janine Berger a podium finish at the Universiade. Tatiana Nabieva 13.5, the fourth strongest in qualifying, but with a 0.3 penalty. Cleanly through her transition work so far. Nice half turn to build the difficulty a touch. No issues there. Dismounts very well. So Tatiana Nabieva is going to keep everyone guessing as the final scores come in. Will she make it onto the podium once more? Already has a silver medal in the uneven bars from the competition in Kazan in 2013.
Tatiana Nabieva per concludere questa rotazione alle parallele simmetriche.
And already has a silver medal in the team competition, this time to add to her gold from 6 years ago. Any addition, or will Janine Berger manage to hold on and secure that bronze medal? Hatakeda 1, Teramoto 2, Berger 3. Not any longer, it has changed. Tatiana Nabieva has taken the silver medal with a score of 13.9. I think she has just discovered that now. The score has come up in the arena, and it is another silver medal on the uneven bars for Nabieva. Hatakeda wins it by a tenth. And Nabieva takes the silver by a tenth from Teramoto. A very close finish indeed. There, confirmation of the final standings in the women's uneven bars competition. Asuka Teramoto of Japan, the bronze medalist Tatiana Nabieva of the Russian Federation for silver. Hitomi Hatakeda of Japan getting yet another gold medal. That is her third of these games.
Apparatus final man Reeves.
What a story for the Japanese team. What a story for the sensational gymnast Hitomi Hatakeda, who's got 3 gold medals at Napoli 2019. Team all around, and now an apparatus triumph as well. So very impressive indeed. She was given a very good fight. Gymnasts such as Janine Berger, who finished narrowly in 4th position, a very good display from her. Martina Rizzelli ending up in 5th position.
Men. Rings. Alexander Diab, USA. Hamed Onder, Turkey. Ibrahim Kolak, Turkey. Kazuma Kaya, Japan. Artur Abetizian, Armenia. Bataro Tanegawa, Japan. Vincent Johann Höpke, Austria. E Chia Hang Tang, Chinese Taipei.
It's time for the final apparatus final of this first session of action here at the Pala Vesuvio. The start list for the men's still rings competition. Ibrahim Jolak of Turkey, the top performer in qualifying with 14.85. He'll go 3rd in the order. Artur Avetisian of Armenia, the 2nd strongest, will go 5th. And Vincent Höck of Austria, 3rd best in qualification, will go 2nd to last. Very much his event. Alex Diab comes in as the 5th strongest in qualification. Ahmed Under is a gymnast who's been struggling with injury worries of late. He had to restrict his programme starting at the European Games, continuing through here into the Universiade. Good that he's made a couple of finals, and he also got his big continental medal by taking high bar honours at the European Games. He's still only 22 as well. He has his 23rd birthday in just under a week's time. Ibrahim Jolak, his teammate, is the trendsetter with a score of 14.85. How often it's the case that a rings final can be incredibly close.
Apparatus final rings.
Great excitement in the Palo Vesuvio as we begin this apparatus final in artistic gymnastics. It's the men's still rings competition about to get underway.
USA.
Thank you very much indeed for joining this coverage. And we start with Alex Diab of the United States of America. He is the current NCAA still rings champion. Defended his title from the previous year. Student at the University of Illinois. And followed very much in his father's footsteps. His dad, Mark, was twice NCAA still rings champion, 1985 to 1986. And his son's done exactly the same thing. Holds the Maltese really nicely. Good presentation in the iron cross. Trying to pick up the pace. Just lost his stability in the planche a touch, very small. But again, he's got a good shoulder line in the crucifix position. What a nice handstand. That's a very good routine indeed. Really fine start from the 22-year-old. Super gymnastics family that they are. His brother Max is also at the University of Illinois. And there's Maddie, great young gymnast coming through the college system too. Very athletic family. Just had to slightly bring his feet up when he went into the planche. Those of you new to the sport and just trying to get your way through some of the vocabulary in there. Terms you'll hear in the rings, we'll hear reference to the Maltese, which is where the gymnast is in a 90-degree position level with the rings, the Maltese cross. The planche is different. They're in effectively a press-up position just above the line of the rings, but still in the 90-degree position. And that's the difference between the two of them. Not always easy to see depending on the position you're occupying.
Alexander Diab, total score 14 and 30.
14.3 for Alex Diab. Pretty in line with his qualification mark. He's just down by half a tenth. Ahmed Unda of Turkey. Gymnast from Izmir, who is studying for a teaching degree. He's at Ege University in Izmir. It's the third largest institution of higher education in Turkey. Jonas and swinging combination goes into the iron cross. Very tried and tested formula. Different sort of planche with the split leg approach. Just got little adjustments here and there under, nothing particularly big, but they are apparent. Like that, for example, in the handstand. Doesn't need to adjust his dismount at all. He was the 8th strongest qualifier. But only a 10th behind Diab in 5th position. There's very often room for moving around in a rings final. Qualification can be so close. Really did stick that dismount a treat. Some coaches have reactions that are hard to read, not in this case. That's a good score from Under, 14.45. He's up by 2/10 from qualifying. Sort of margin that could really play him into contention. Still got the top 4 qualifiers to come. And here is the top qualifier. Ibrahim Jolak of Turkey. Silver medalist in this event at the Games 2 years ago. A real specialist. Pulls up with strength into the planche. And also sustains the Maltese well, goes back into the planche position. He's got a very nice line. The Wacky Jonason combination is smooth, back into the Maltese. This is very tidy. Level presentation on the shoulders. And again, he's just got a little lateral movement of the rings to address. Takes a moment to stabilise the handstand, but he's done that well. He's a very good performer on this piece. His difficulty was 6.2 in qualification, highest difficulty score of anyone. Execution was an 8.65, it was a 14.85 in total. If he's got close to that, then it's going to be a leading score. He has on a number of occasions been a multi-sport games champion on the rings. Mediterranean Games gold in Tarragona last year, Islamic Solidarity Games gold in Baku the year before. Excellent conditioning, Ibrahim Jolak. He's a very good swimmer and cyclist as part of his cardiovascular training. Accompanied to the strength work that he does. Very, very good shape. Great score from Jolak, 14.8. Just half a tenth down from qualification and good enough for the gold medal position at the moment. So 3 have gone. Turkey 1 and 2, USA bronze medal position. have second, fourth and third to go from qualification, so that might make Kaya a touch uncomfortable. He's on 14.45. He has improved upon his qualification score. Bronze medal position as Alex Diab drops down into fourth. But here is a very interesting competitor indeed.
Armenia,
Artur Avetisyan, 21-year-old from Yerevan. Junior silver medalist on the still rings at the 2016 European Championships. Hard to get into senior contention for the rings with Armenia because they really do excel at the still rings. Lovely Maltese cross. Equally lovely iron cross. Well, much like so many of the Japanese team, he is technically very precise. Another one of the gymnasts who's a product of Juntendo University. Does his studying there. He turns 23 very soon indeed, just a week after the games ends. Now it's getting a little bit condensed at the top of the table, but there is a gap to break in where Ahmet Under is currently sitting. So it's 14.9 and 14.8 for gold and silver. Under 14.45. So if Tanegawa matches the qualification display, that's where he will go. And actually what he'd need to do is to just slightly nudge above. And that is what he's done. 14.65 is the score for Wataru Tanegawa. He goes into the bronze medal position. Avetizian still has the lead. Jolak is in second place. Tanegawa is in third position. There are two gymnasts to go, and one of them is the third strongest in qualification. Vincent Hoek, 14.45 his score. The 23-year-old studies at the University of Innsbruck. He was the second reserve for the rings final at the European Championships in Szczecin a couple of months ago. Got a really nice shoulder presentation in the cross. It was wonderfully straight. As is that. Super execution. Very promising indeed from Vincent Hoek. He was a junior European champion on the still rings 5 years ago. Led to him being named the male gymnast of the year by the Austrian Gymnastics Federation. But he's had a tough time building upon that with some injury troubles. Came shortly after that success. He missed a large chunk of 2016. But he did appear at the Universiade a couple of years ago. And what he's been trying to do of late is push that difficulty score up. He's been attempting to get his difficulty to 6.2. Now, he had a 5.9 in qualification, but that is his long-term plan. It's just to nudge the difficulty up a fraction to get into Olympic qualification contention.
14.80.
He's gone for the 6.2 this time, and he's got the 6.2 this time. And as a result, he is in the silver medal position. Well, that's the thing he's wanted for so long, is to get that 6.2 difficulty. And with it, he is guaranteed a medal. So we have Avetizian in the gold medal position. Hoek and Jolak are deadlocked. They're tied for silver. 14.8, same difficulty, same execution. And now the last competitor is Tang Chia-hung of Chinese Taipei, 7th best in qualification. Part of that team that took the silver medal. This was after their great success in the team competition of the Asian Championships in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. Took a bronze there. Nice and steady moving into the split planche. He's been a great performer at his second Universiade. Tang Chia-hung. Now, can he get into the discussion about the medals? It's Avetizian, Hoek and Jolak who are occupying the podium places. It's a gold and 2 silver medals at the moment we have. 14.8 is the key score. Was as stable and well maintained a dismount as you're ever really going to see. That's lovely, isn't it? No deviation at all from the landing position. His execution's very good. 14.125 is the score. Doesn't have as high a difficulty as others, but it's been a very good competition for the gymnast who's already taken a medal. And as other gymnasts who've made their way onto a podium, they celebrate and sign autographs. So we bring you the confirmed standings in the men's still rings competition. 2 silver medals, Ibrahim Jolak and Vincent Herk of Turkey and Austria respectively, and the gold to Artur Avetisyan of Armenia. Very tight competition. Just a tenth between that gold and joint silver positions, and the reason it's joint is that they are absolutely tied on 6.2 difficulty and 8.6 execution, Herk and Jolak.
Attenzione, una comunicazione di servizio. Il dottor Esposito è pregato di recarsi all'antidoping. Grazie.
He will be taking his place on the podium in a short while, as will the other champions from the previous 4 events, and we do hope you'll stay with us to enjoy those victory ceremonies coming up in a short while. But let's just take a moment to enjoy the action from this still rings competition first.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this session, but please stay with us for a medal ceremony which is coming up shortly. Si conclude così la prima parte di giornata, ma rimanete con noi per le premiazioni, per la cerimonia di premiazione che avverrà a breve. Grazie. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medal ceremony in 10 minutes. La cerimonia di premiazione avverrà tra 10 minuti.
174 countries, more than 60 sports, the largest global sports events for student athletes. Thousands of athletes, millions of students. Welcome to FISU. For 70 years, the International University Sports Federation has been leading the university sport movement worldwide through grand sporting events, cultural celebrations and educational programs. Recognized by the International Olympic Committee since 1961 as the key driver of university sport, FISU helps today's student athletes become leaders of tomorrow through a positive university sports experience. At the heart of this movement lie FISU's sports events. The Summer and Winter Universiades are the World University Championships and the World University Leagues and Cups. These top-class events bring together the world's best student athletes between the ages of 17 and 25. The Universiades are the largest and most prestigious international university sport events in the world. Live action from the Universiades is broadcast to more than 100 countries and can be watched from anywhere in the world on digital platforms. The Summer Universiade is staged every 2 years in a different host city and brings together more than 10,000 athletes who compete in all major sports such as athletics, basketball, gymnastics, swimming and volleyball. The Winter Universiade is also a biennial event and gathers more than 2,500 participants from more than 50 countries. The world's best student athletes in sports such as biathlon, ice hockey, snowboard and figure skating compete at the Winter Universiade. Complementing the Summer and Winter Universiade sports programs are the World University Championships. These single sport competitions are held every alternate year in several countries and continents. In 2018, 33 standalone World University Championship events made for a calendar full of quality competition in a wide array of sports, from karate to beach volleyball, rugby sevens to cheerleading and sailing. In 2015, FISU brought in a game changer, 3-on-3 basketball and the World University League. For the first time in FISU history, student athletes competed for their university teams rather than for national teams, making the league a unique global event unlike any other in the sports world. Taking this paradigm shift further is FISU's newest event, the University World Cup Football, which will debut in 2019, putting the best university football teams together on the world stage. Embracing FISU's motto of today's stars, tomorrow's leaders, all FISU sports events incorporate educational and cultural aspects into the sport competitions, allowing student athletes to celebrate high performance along with culture and learning. Education is at the core of FISU's raison d'être. FISU World Conferences, FISU Forum and seminars give students, young managers and scholars the opportunity to exchange ideas on how to drive development through sport. FISU is committed to good governance, including gender equality and women's sport. FISU's Gender Equality Committee works in partnership with the Council of Europe and the International Working Group on Women's Sport to ensure the inclusion of women at all levels of university sport. To guarantee clean sporting events, FISU works in close partnership with the World Anti-Doping Agency, and together with the agency, FISU has developed an anti-doping e-text book aimed at educating young athletes and their coaches on the dangers of doping.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal awarding ceremony for the apparatus final ginnastica artistica. Signore e signori, la cerimonia di premiazione per le finali di specialità della ginnastica artistica.
It's now time for the victory ceremony in the men's floor competition as part of the artistic gymnastics program taking place at the Pala Vesuvio at Napoli 2019. A familiar nation occupying podium places here.
We are now going
And one very familiar face doing so, but a different champion on this occasion.
Artistic gymnastic men. Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie, specialità corpo libero maschile. The medals will be presented by Kairis Ulp, Executive Committee Member of International University Sports Federation. And the mascots will be presented by Rosario Pitton, Vice President of the Italian Gymnastic Federation. Le medaglie saranno consegnate da Kairis Ulp, membro del comitato esecutivo della Federazione Internazionale Sport Universitari, la mascotte sarà consegnata da Rosario Pitton, vicepresidente della Federazione Ginnastica d'Italia. Third place and bronze medalist Kakero Tanigawa, Japan.
Adding to his team triumph, Kakeru Tanigawa of Japan, taking a bronze medal in the men's floor exercise.
Kakero Tanigawa, Giappone.
Came in as the third strongest in qualification. The reigning Japanese all-around champion takes another medal here at the Universiade.
Second place and silver medalist Kazuma Kaya, Japan.
Just can't keep him away from the podium. Kazuma Kaya.
Kazuma Kaya, Giappone.
He came in as the second strongest in qualification, matched that. Celebrations between teammates. And another medal for Kazuma Kaya. And not his last.
First place and gold medalist.
The silver medal to Kazuma Kaya of Japan.
Russia. Primo posto, medaglia d'oro per Kirill Prokopiev, Russia.
Well, a real floor specialist is Kirill Prokopiev of the Russian Federation, and he delivered a routine that illustrated exactly why. He came in having taken gold in this event 2 years ago in Chinese Taipei. Well, guess what? He's done it again. Reigning and defending champion. The Universiade champion in the men's floor exercise, Kirill Prokopiev of the Russian Federation.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now please rise for the International University Sports Federation and team. E ora, signore e signori, per favore in piedi per l'inno della Federazione Internazionale Sport Universitari.
The 25-year-old Kirill Prokopiev taking the first Russian Federation gold medal in gymnastics at these games. Indeed, the first event not won by Japan at these games, so even more impressive that Prokofiev managed to keep at bay the two gymnasts on either side of him. And there they are, the medalists in the men's floor exercise at Napoli 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal awarding ceremony for final apparatus Vault Woman. Signore e signori, cerimonia di premiazione per la specialità volteggio, ginnastica artistica femminile.
It's now time for the victory ceremony in the women's vault competition as part of the Napoli 2019 artistic gymnastics programme. A moment of great triumph for a highly experienced gymnast, and it was an incredibly close competition.
We are now going to begin the awarding of the medals. Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie. The medals will be presented by Ika Poijonen, Executive Committee member of International University Sports Federation, and the mascots will be presented by Rosario Pitton, Vice President of the Italian Gymnastic Federation. Le medaglie saranno consegnate da Ilka Poijonen, membro del Comitato Esecutivo della Federazione Internazionale Sport Universitari, e la mascotte da Rosario Pitton, vicepresidente della Federazione Ginnastica d'Italia. Third place and bronze medalist Tatiana Nabieva, Russia.
Bronze medal to Tatiana Nabieva of the Russian Federation. And another Universiade medal for her, having taken the team silver a couple of days ago. Now a bronze medal here to add to the gold that she won in team competition in 2013 and the silver in the uneven bars. So a full set of colours now for Tatiana Nabieva. The bronze medal to Tatiana Nabieva of the Russian Federation.
Second place and the silver medalist Lilia Akaimova, Russia.
Lilia Akaimova of the Russian Federation. Well, she was just 500ths ahead of Tatiana Nabieva, and she was less than 300ths away from a gold medal. It was an incredibly close vault competition. The gymnast who took the team silver and also the bronze in the all-around now has another silver medal.
First place and gold medalist Marina Nekrasova, Azerbaijan.
This is a moment that she has put in the work for. Marina Nekrasova of Azerbaijan. She was the first gymnast to go, came in as the 6th strongest in qualification, but that first vault that was barely over 12.5 in qualification was 14.1 in the final. And that enabled her to get a score of 14, the only gymnast to hit the 14 mark. And with it, the title of Universiade champion. The gold medal to Marina Nekrasova of Azerbaijan.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now please rise for the International University Sports Federation and team. And now it's time
The medalists in the women's vault competition at Napoli 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal awarding ceremony for the apparatus final men pommel horse. Signore e signori, cerimonia di premiazione per la specialità cavallo con maniglia.
The victory ceremony for the men's pommel horse competition as part of the artistic gymnastics program at the 30th Summer Universiade. And here in the Pala Vesuvio in Ponticelli, Naples, it was to be a defence of a crown.
The medals will be presented by Kairat Zakiryanov, Executive Committee member of International University Sports Federation, and the mascots will be presented by Holger Albrecht, Technical Delegate Artistic Gymnastics. Le medaglie saranno consegnate da Kairat Zakiryanov, membro esecutivo della Federazione Internazionale Sport Universitari, mentre la mascotte verrà consegnata da Holger Albrecht, delegato tecnico per la ginnastica artistica. Third place and bronze medalist Kazuma Kaya, Japan. Terzo posto e medaglia di bronzo per
complete
Kazuma
something
Kaya,
of the
Giappone.
set for Kazuma Kaya. A couple of gold medals, a silver medal on the men's floor exercise, and a bronze medal in the men's pommel horse competition. The bronze medal to Kazumikaya of
Second
Japan.
place and silver medalist, Nariman Kurbanov, Kazakhstan.
Nariman Kurbanov is very much a specialist on the pommel horse, and he proved that this is his only final at the Summer Universiade. The gymnast who turns 22 in December. He's a student at the Kazakh Academy of Sport and Tourism, and he's also a Universiade silver medalist.
Jin Kai Lee, Chinese Taipei.
This has always been his event, and he's getting better and better at it as well. That's the slightly terrifying thing. Having taken a bronze medal in the all-around competition yesterday, Lee Chi-kai came back on his dominant piece to dominate once more. The champion 2 years ago in his home nation. As a visitor, he's also a champion. The Universiade champion Lee Chi-kai of Chinese Taipei.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now please rise for the International University Sports Federation and team.
The medalist in the men's pommel horse competition at Napoli 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, a medal awarding ceremony for apparatus final, uneven bars woman. Signore e signori, cerimonia di premiazione per la specialità parallele asimmetriche, ginnastica artistica femminile.
Time now for the victory ceremony for the women's uneven bars competition as part of artistic gymnastics at the 2019 Summer Universiade.
We are now going to begin the awarding of the medals. Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie. The medals will be presented by Donatella Sacchi, Technical Delegate of International Federation of Gymnastics, and The mascot will be presented by Holger Albrecht, Technical Delegate Artistic Gymnastics. Le medaglie saranno consegnate da Donatella Sacchi, delegato tecnico della Federazione Internazionale di Ginnastica, e da Holger Albrecht, delegato tecnico per la ginnastica artistica. Uneven bars, third place and bronze medalist Asuka Teramoto, Japan. Terzo posto, medaglia di bronzo per
second medal
Asuka
of these games for Asuka Teramoto of Japan, having been a gold medal winning member of the team competition. She now takes an individual honour, a bronze medal for her performance on the uneven bars. Incredibly close run thing it was, this final. 13.8 the score for Teramoto.
Second place and the silver medalist Tatiana Navieva, Russia. Secondo posto, medaglia d'argento per
6 years
Tatiana
after taking a silver medal on the uneven bars in Kazan, she comes back to get one once more. A delighted Tatiana Navieva is back on the podium. Silver medal in the team competition. And now a silver medal on the uneven bars. Her score 13.9.
First place and gold medalist Hitomi Takeda, Japan. Primo posto e medaglia d'oro per Hitomi Takeda, Giappone.
And up we go by just one more tenth again, from 13.8 to 13.9 to 14. And a third gold medal of these games for Hitomi Takeda of Japan. Gold in the team competition, gold in the all-around competition, and now an apparatus gold as well. The Universiade uneven bars champion, Hitomi Takeda of Japan.
Now please rise for the International University Sports Federation and team. Now it's time for pictures. Diamo spazio alle foto.
The medalists in the women's uneven bars competition at Napoli 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal awarding ceremony for apparatus final rings, artistic gymnastic men.
now for the victory ceremony in the men's still rings competition as part of artistic gymnastics at the 30th Summer Universiade.
We are now going to begin the awarding of the medals. Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie. The medals will be presented by Kemal Tamer, Executive Committee Member of International University Sports Federation. And the mascot will be presented by Rosario Piton, Vice President of the Italian Gymnastics Federation. Le medaglie saranno consegnate da Kemal Tamer, membro del comitato esecutivo della Federazione Internazionale Sport Universitari, e la mascotte sarà invece consegnata dal vicepresidente della Federazione Ginnastica d'Italia, Rosario Piton. Second place and the silver medalist Ibrahim Kolak, Turkey, and Johann Vincent Höck, Austria.
Shared silver medals, inseparable these two. They both posted 6.2 difficulty scores and 8.6 execution scores. Deadlocked on 14.8, and they are both silver medalists. Ibrahim Kolak of Turkey and Vincent Höck of Austria. The silver medals to Ibrahim Kolak and Vincent Höck.
Artur Avetisian, Armenia.
What a display from this young athlete, the 21-year-old athlete from Yerevan. Such a great junior competitor. It's not been easy for him to break into the senior team. Such is the strength of Ring's work in the Armenian gymnastics squad. Well, he has now demonstrated that he is also capable of this excellent work. A 9 for execution, a brilliant display, a 14.9 overall, and most significantly, the title of Universiade champion for Artur Avetisian of Armenia.
Time for pictures, e ora il momento delle foto. Ringraziamo le autorità. L'appuntamento
Medalists in the men's still rings competition as part of artistic gymnastics at Napoli 2019.
Alle ore 16 per la seconda parte di queste finali di specialità. Next session at 4 o'clock.
And as the medalists depart, that brings to a close our first session of 5 apparatus finals on this last day of gymnastics competition at Napoli 2019. In around about an hour and a half's time, at 4 p.m. local time here in Naples, we'll bring you the remaining 5 disciplines: the women's balance beam and floor exercise, and the men's vault, parallel bars and horizontal bar. Until then, some of the images of this session of apparatus specialist action from the Pala Vesuvio. Until the next time, goodbye.